All right, today we're going to talk about the most hilarious part of getting sober. Now, most people don't, when they're talking about getting sober or thinking about sober, they're thinking about sober people, they don't generally think about hilarity or great fun. This is from the perspective of somebody who is 10 years alcohol free, right? It's 10 years into this new journey. And from that perspective, it's a wider look at things. It's I've done a lot in my life since I've stopped drinking alcohol. I've changed my life in so many different ways, and the perspective that most people look at this is when you get sober that you become dry, you become boring, the teetotaler attitude. People are not fun anymore, and I don't get that. I don't get that idea. We push this version of things on people in the beginning. And I get when you first start on this journey, there's certain parts of it that are not fun. There's certain parts of it that are going to cause you discomfort. But there's also certain parts of it that have the capability, the possibility of bringing you joy, even from the beginning. And it all comes down to mindset. It's how you look at things. If you choose to look at these things from the perspective of I'm missing out on something, or I'm never going to do this again, or that's a part of my life that's over and other people can do this and why can't I do this, and I'm an alcoholic and I'm a diseased and I've got genes wrong with me and all that kind of stuff, it stops you from looking at yourself and looking at the journey in its reality. And in its reality, what you're doing is you're getting rid of a fucking poison out of your life. You're getting rid of a poison, right? Now, as I said, it might not seem that way at the beginning. It might be tough on you at the beginning, but there is a joy in that. There is a happiness in that. Now, I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about a lot of stuff that will happen to you as you go through this journey, but it's a good start, no? One of the problems that I see is that most people don't want to hear bad news about their bad habits, right? They look at this journey, they look at getting alcohol out of their lives as missing out on so much of their lives, right? Boring. That's what they're going to be. When they may have been at one stage the life of the party, now they're no longer going to be that way. So what is it about my own sober journey that I find hilarious? You've got to put comedy into this. You've got to look and laugh at things. There's quite a few things that I could choose here. One of them is other people's reactions when I tell them that I don't drink anymore, from, oh my God, what do you do now, to, oh, you must be an alcoholic then, oh, I feel sorry for you. While they're drinking away on their own stuff, talking about other people getting drunk, I find some people when they get drunk are quite hilarious. Not when they're getting drunk so much as the next morning when I go around and I'm fully awake and they're dying with the hangover and they're saying, oh no, I'm never going to do this again. That's quite funny. And like I say, I'm not trying to dwell on other people's misery. You can only look at this journey through your own eyes, and you can only take the motivations that you find in life and the things that are going to drive you forwards. And, sometimes, when I go around to my family, for instance, and I always want to leave before they get drunk because I do not want to see them drunk. They're getting drunk is one of the things that really causes me to be uncomfortable, to have displeasure in my life, because I don't want to see my family like that. I don't want to hear the shit that they say. I don't want to see the stuff that they say. It's beyond a certain point, there's beyond a certain point where it goes beyond the fun, and it starts getting into the ridiculous, and they say things that, nothing aggressive or nothing like that, but it's the stupidity of it. And while they will forget that the next day, and that will go into the realm of just a drunken night, I remember all that stuff. And it's difficult for me, when you hear somebody says something bad to you, and no matter how many times they said something good to you, it's that bad thing that they said to you that you'll remember. Well, it's sort of the same thing here, you remember certain things that people said or that did or whatever, and that sticks in your mind. And I don't want that anymore. But I'm quite happy to go around there the next day and laugh at them when they're going through the hangover. Now, another thing that I find hilarious is the savings that I've had, the financial things that have happened to me since I've stopped drinking alcohol. When I look at my bank account and I see, instead of it being drained and only being small amounts of money in there, that there is a fair sized chunk of money, and that's down to not drinking anymore, saving the money that you would have been using for alcohol, but also the money that you're earning because you stopped drinking alcohol. Now, before I go into what I find to be the most hilarious part of this journey for me, if you want to stop drinking alcohol and you're looking for a guide, there's a beginner's guide down below, free course, you don't have to pay anything. Just click on the link, go over and give me your name and email address, and I'll send it out to you, okay? Now, it's only my opinion, but I think hilarity is subjective, right? And my sense of humor, what I find hilarious, what I find funny in life, has just increased since I stopped drinking. I used to laugh so much when I was a kid, when I was young, and I think gradually that just disappeared. And it's not surprising, right? You get in your own way in life, you put obstacles in front of yourself in life, you cause your own problems. And when you're drinking alcohol, you put yourself into a position where you're not in a fit state to seek solutions, or not proper solutions. So the problems pile up, and that sense of humour goes. For me, that sense of humour has come back in spades. Now, the more you get into this journey, the more that you start to reach your potential, the more sober, you live the sober life, you start getting to your potential, the more you leave behind all the crap parts of your life, the kinder you become to yourself. You just look back at these days, or the first days of your of stopping drinking alcohol, as being a blessing. You look back at that person as being somebody that you really you owe a debt of gratitude to, and you start looking back at even the drinker's life that you were living as being something that you feel much more sympathy for now, right? Not that you're ever going to go back there. It's because you're never going to go back there. It's because you're making such progress into your new life that you start to grow happier, more contented with life, and your sense of humour will expand with that. The things that you will find humour in will expand. The less miserable you'll be about life, the less discomfort you're going through in the moment, the less misery you'll feel. Misery is probably a hard term, because I don't think most people, if they have the right attitude and they have the right mindsets in the beginning, there's no misery. There is a challenge, all right? You're going through this challenge. And don't let anyone tell you that there is no joy in this, because it's on this side of my life, on this sober side, on this side of the new journey, that I have found the most joy in my life, the most happiness, because you're searching it out and you're building a life that is going to deliver happiness in your life, okay? There's certainly times when you're going to be challenged. That's fair enough, but isn't that life? The only difference between my life now and before with the challenges is now I don't hide from those challenges anymore. I accept those challenges and I embrace them and I move into them. Whereas before, I was like a wimp, sober wimp, hiding behind anything, hiding behind the alcohol because I didn't want the challenge if the challenge was too much. And if it's not too much, it's not a challenge, right? So, that is the thing that I find the most hilarious, is to look back at my own life now, look back at the life that I have now, and look back at my old life and have that sympathy for myself, and looking at myself, looking at my old life through much more kinder eyes. But I find it really hilarious that there is no, I didn't realize that at the time, that I thought the life that I was living was fun. Going to a pub, getting pissed out of my brains, that was fun, right? And I get it's much easier to look at this, but that's what I'm saying to you. Once you get into it, it's not, there's a challenge at the beginning that you have to go through, the discomfort that you have to go through. But once you get through that challenge and you get out the other side, then it's when you decide yourself that you can truly say to yourself that you're never going to drink again. You see the progress in your life, and that's when you can look back on your life and think that, have much more sympathy with your old self, and be kinder to your old self, and to see your old life with a sense of humour. you know, looking at it like it's funny, because it is. You know, when you look back at your own self and you can laugh at your own self, that's when you know you're really making progress. There are so many benefits to stopping drinking alcohol, so many benefits to stopping drinking, and putting a smile back in your face and being able to laugh at those things is just one of them. So have a look at this video next for some of the other benefits. Take care. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.